Welcome back to Mornings on this Monday. Well, if you've ever imagined yourself as a queen, a goddess, or perhaps an actor, detective, whatever, your true self might not be too far off. Now, for over 100 years, psychologists have helped people get in touch with their hidden personalities by uncovering their archetypes. To explain, author and psychotherapist Katie Altham. Good morning, Katie.
Good morning, Kerrie.
This is a fascinating area. How can you actually determine your natural personality?
I think we have a strong idea about our natural personality, light sides and shadow sides, but I've written a book with over 108 archetypes.
Are there over 108 type of personalities?
Well, you have a cluster of archetypes. You have 6, maybe up to 13 archetypes, which can be contradictory. Parts of you that are shy, parts of you that are outgoing, parts of you that are career-minded, parts of you that might be funny, whatever. And it's really interesting putting the jigsaw pieces together and saying, I've got this one and this one and this one.
So most of us are a combination?
We all are a combination.
How scientific or how credible is this really?
I think it's very credible. Carl Jung was the first one to name archetypes, which are compulsive driving personality traits. You can't stop them. And when people have discovered them, there are lots of archetypal authors, but as people have done my workshops, they feel relief and they go, that's me. How did you know I think that way? Because archetypes describe your values, your motivations, what you love, what you hate, what pushes your buttons, how you're reactive, and all your talents. So people recognise it very quickly.
So, clearly it's very important for us to recognise who we are in our various segments, and also very importantly who our partners or our colleagues are. So let's get to how, are we born like that?
Yes, we are, but how we're parented has a huge impact on how we may express our archetypes, whether we do them in a more shadow way or a lighter way.
Okay, what are the top archetypes, personality types?
Well, there's not a top lot, but there's some that are more common, but let's have a look at some.
Okay, if we, some of the famous people, a lot of us feel as if we know famous people. For instance, Kylie Minogue, what sort of personality type or archetype is she?
Well, Kylie's interesting. She would be a princess, and I think everyone understands what a princess is. You know, Paris Hilton's a princess as well. They're very popular, they're beautiful, they're into fashion, they're the trendsetters, they're the peer group leaders in the primary school, at high school, and they just seem to be able to attract friends easily, and they're often the people think, I wish I was like them, I wish I could be in their group. They do it effortlessly. It happens just easily for them. So she's a princess. I think everyone can see that. Yeah. She's also, I think, an Olympian, which is an Australian archetype because countries have archetypes as well. And that's a very driven archetype, that they can push themselves very hard, with all her dancing and all the stuff that she does.
Because her work ethic is phenomenal.
It's huge. She's famous for that. And so that would be the Olympian, and maybe pushing yourself too far at times, where you're working and you've got an injury or your body's saying, stop, I've had enough. Olympians don't listen to that. They keep pushing past that threshold.
What about Anna Nicole Smith?
Oh, Anna Nicole Smith. This is an Aphrodite. Now, this is the sex goddess, as if, everyone can see that. And she really wanted to play that. She was playing it from Marilyn Monroe. And so she was wanting to be beautiful, something that every man would adore and want to have. When you've got that archetype in your cluster of archetypes, it dominates. It takes over everything else, so other parts of your personality may be underdeveloped and you're just playing that role all the time, and I think we can see that that maybe contributed to her demise.
We saw Stan Zemanek. Now, so many people know who Stan Zemanek is from radio and television. Yes. Who do you really think is his archetype?
Well, I think he showed it very well there. I think he's a king. He's a leader and very strong and assertive. He likes to be the boss, there's no doubt about that. He wouldn't suffer fools easily, and he'd like the best in life. I think he's a Mars character, and that's like a Russell Crowe, Shane Warne, Pat Cash. He's a man's man, He'd like a drink with the boys and those sorts of things. Like his sport could be quite conservative in his values, but heart of gold. And that's the thing with the king and Mars, as his wife showed us. He had a heart of gold, real family man, very protective, actually, those characteristics. But the work persona will bring out different archetypes at home than we will at work or in our social groups. And what he shows at work isn't necessarily what he shows at home, but they're still the same archetypes.
You mentioned, you called it shadow and light. Does that mean positive, negative?
Yes, absolutely. The shadow's the things that you wouldn't put on your CV for your next job or mention on your first date.
So, but not a lot of us actually want to recognise. We're in denial about those shadows.
Sometimes we are, Kerrie-Anne, but it's interesting. interesting, when I've done workshops with lots of people, a lot of people will own their shadow and find it very hard to recognise their strong points, their talents, which is sad. They'll say, I know I'm arrogant, I know I'm cold, or I know I'm silent, or I know I withdraw. And we say, but you've got the other side of the coin. You've also got these qualities. And they say, I can't see that.
We're in election year, of course. Kevin Rudd joined us on the program last week, and John Howard.
I saw that, yeah.
What sort of, let's start with Kevin Rudd and we'll move to John Howard, the archetypes they are.
Kevin Rudd has got the analyst, visionary and God Uranus archetype. Very brilliant man. He's known for his brilliance, great vision, able to absorb a lot of information very quickly. I think the Labor Party had concerns that he may not be a warm enough person for the public to relate to because he's just so intelligent. And where was he going to get his message across? It seems like he is doing that, but that's the shadow side of Uranus. Can be cold, idealistic, aloof. I think when he was in Brisbane politics, he was described as that, though people said his ideas and vision were brilliant. He seems to be able to bridge that. And it's interesting, political parties have archetypes as well. And so the Labor Party has a different archetype, maybe Demeter, the more of a mothering social agenda, environmental, compared to what John Howard's, which is the Liberal Party, which is more of a father, which is conservative, economic management, those sorts of things.
And you know, most people, I think, feel as if they know John Howard. He's been our Prime Minister for a very long time. We've seen him through so many, some crises, some happy and sad times. What are his personality types?
Well, I think he has the father archetype, and you know, where he has strong values and wants to guide people to be the best they can. Saturn archetype. He's a strong man about responsibility, ethics, discipline, but maybe conservative as well. And Stan Zemanek has that one, so as well. Hard taskmaster, very strong work ethic, those sorts of things, very traditional as well. And so he's been fitted our times with the terrorism and fear times that we've had, but now as the climate concerns are happening, global warming, those things, society's saying, maybe I'm needing something a little bit different. So we'll see in time which way we go.
Whether his archetype
suits the times.
Yeah, suits the times, or he can change, because I guess we can all mould ourselves.
Move into a different
Congratulations on the book. And by the way, if you go to the website, there are several of these archetypes that you specifically examined and analysed for us. And we do appreciate your time. There's some information where you're speaking. Just go to the website. That will all there will take you into kerrieann.com.au. Katie Altham, thank you.
Thank you.
We've got more.